Welcome back to Financial Therapy. It's not just about the money. I'm personal financial planner, columnist, and financial therapist Rick Kaler. Research tells us that 90% of all financial decisions are made emotionally, not logically. For nearly 4 decades, I've been helping people make better money decisions. So what makes my financial worldview different from most financial experts? I blend the nuts and bolts of financial advice with the emotions that drive making them. Good money decisions are not just about the money. So let's get started with today's episode. Welcome back to another edition. What's on the horizon for financial therapy? Financial therapy obviously is a pretty new profession, actually only really imagined in around 2009. So it's just been a little over 15 years that financial therapy has been a thing. And largely due to the formation of the Financial Therapy Association, which I think started in late 2009, 2010, and has been a huge reason why financial therapy has gained some prominence. But largely, when I travel, people ask me what I do. And if I'm in the mood for talking, I'll say a financial therapist. If I'm not in the mood for talking, I'll say a financial advisor. And the conversation ends. But when I say financial therapist, people are just like, what is that? I've never heard of it. And when I explain it's the union of money and emotions, and that 90% of all financial decisions are made emotionally, they often kind of take that in and think about it with a nod, and yeah, that makes a lot of sense. That sounds like something I could use myself. And then they nervously laugh because I think one of the last calls somebody will make is to a financial therapist. And the reasoning for that is the amount of shame there is around money, especially our money. I think a person would make a call to a sexual addiction counselor just a tad bit easier than to a financial therapist. So financial therapy is definitely a thing. It's become a thing with the media. You're starting to see financial therapy interviews with financial therapists pop up regularly. I have an alert on my Google that will alert me to whenever financial therapy is in the news. And I would say, I don't know, almost every day there is something said about financial therapy, financial therapists. So where are we going with financial therapy? And I got a few thoughts. These are not necessarily comprehensive. You may have some more. But I do think, and I've already alluded to, we've got a lot wider public awareness. Just the growing attention on the emotional, psychological aspect of financial therapy. It's really becoming more mainstream. Now, while it's nowhere near the recognition of, say, financial planning as a profession, it's gaining in attention. And I think it's very much in the same place that financial planning was, I want to say 40 years ago. 40 years ago, I was just getting my start in the financial planning profession. And not too many people had really heard of financial planning. And they'd, of course, heard of mutual fund salespeople and life insurance salespeople, but not the concept of financial planning. And it took decades to raise the public awareness to comprehensive financial planning. meaning not just investments, but estate planning, insurance planning, tax planning, cash flow management, retirement planning, just all of the other ways that money touches us. Prior to that, it just was thought that, financial planning is the same as investment advice. And for many years, I thought the same for myself. Whether I'm an investment advisor, financial planner, they're all one and the same. Well, they are obviously not. So financial therapy finds itself in very much the same place of not having wide public awareness today. I know the financial planning profession fought long and hard to get the CFP mark, Certified Financial Planner marks, recognized. And today, I think I remember seeing a survey or some results that said 79% of people recognize the mark CFP, which is huge, just huge public awareness. When you think about certified financial therapists, almost no one has ever heard of that. Even within the profession, there's not a high degree of knowledge about it or acceptance. We'll talk about that later. But certainly financial therapist, even broader than certified financial therapist, is not something people think about a lot, but it's growing and there is wider public awareness. I think I've talked about, I think it was a 2021 Global Wellness conference that said one of the coming awarenesses in the wellness movement or in wellness will be financial wellness and innovations in financial therapy that will continue to grow. So I do think we're going to see it continue to grow. I do think we're going to continue to see demand for these services. I don't know, I would certainly think a number of unsolicited inquiries weekly of people reaching out for financial therapy, and I don't personally really advertise. So I do think we're going to see that. And something that goes hand in hand with that, I think we're going to be seeing more clinical research. We're going to be seeing more programs develop around financial therapy. So far, to my knowledge, there is not a financial therapy degree. And so far, to my knowledge, there is not a mental health college or college of what I want to say. I think mental health college is close enough that embraces or has a offering in financial therapy at all. I know maybe 5 years ago, I was kind of close to getting that to happen at Golden Gate University, where I've taught for over 15 years as an adjunct professor with a course called Facilitating Financial Health. And there was a couple offerings on the mental health side, on the mental health college, that would be really applicable to financial life planners, even, much less financial therapists. But we just couldn't make it happen to, say, make facilitating financial health an elective on their side and a couple of their programs an elective on the master's in financial planning side. I do believe that we may be close again of potentially something like that happening. I'm not sure, but eventually it will happen. Eventually there's going to be a mental health college that is going to see the benefits, see the growth, see the applicability of money to mental health and that mental health and financial well-being, I should say emotional well-being and financial well-being, are closely linked, as is physical. I mean, when we talk about well-being, and we have 3 or 4 parts of well-being, which would be financial, physical, mental, some would add spiritual. They're also interrelated, right? It's really hard to have one in totality and have none in the other areas. And I mean, it's possible. I'm just saying that well-being is multifaceted. So eventually, this is going to happen. Eventually, there's going to be a financial therapy degree offered by a college. I think the college that's closest to offering this right now is the University of Georgia. They have just recently added a program. I think it's 15 hours. And it does have a financial therapy semester in there. And it's a life planning with an emphasis on financial therapy, I believe. I could be a little wrong on that, but I'm not wrong that it's a new offering and an exciting one. And probably in many respects right now, the most well-rounded one. But there are other universities that are coming on board starting to see this and see the potential and see the need for this. So it's just a matter of time. And what's going to happen here, kind of in conjunction with this, is a lot more clinical research happening as financial therapy grows. Now, there is a journal, you may or may not be aware of it, called the Financial Therapy, the Journal of Financial Therapy. It's put out by the Financial Therapy Association. It's put out, I'm probably going to get in trouble on this, I think twice a year. It might be quarterly, but I think it might be twice a year. That focuses on financial research in conjunction with financial therapy. And this is going to be needed. I come, of course, from the practitioner side. I am not a licensed financial therapist. I am a certified IFS practitioner, internal family systems. But I'm very much a practitioner and have often scoffed at some of the research done that, for example, one that's popping up is research that was recently done, that the more financial apps you have on your phone, the better financial shape the person's in. And I think it highlights, well, that makes sense, because if I'm adding financial apps onto my phone, I probably have a keen interest in finances, whether they be budgeting apps or whatever apps that they are. And probably because I'm paying attention, I'm probably in better financial shape. And the practitioner in me kind of laughs at that and says, well, duh. However, I understand the value of research, and research is always lagging what the practitioners are doing in the field. And the research is really needed to build a body of knowledge. And without a body of knowledge, you don't have a profession. So I am really excited to see ongoing research and more research. Some research that recently was a little deflating in a way, not 100%, was from Dr. Megan McCoy at Kansas State University. I about got myself in trouble there, where they did some research on the KMSI-R, that's the Klontz Manuscript Inventory Revised. And it's something that I really didn't have a hand in developing. I mean, maybe a slight motivation, but it was developed by Dr. Brad Klontz and then revised. And I think there's some white papers out there written in 2011 or so, that talked about the development of it. And Megan's students went and tested this. His research broke money scripts down into 4 categories: money avoidant, money worship, money status, and money vigilant, which I've done a podcast on this, has been commandeered, convoluted, corrupted by some media to say these are money scripts. There's 4 money scripts. No, there are not 4 money scripts. Money scripts are unlimited. There are 4 categories, generally speaking, that money scripts can fall into by Brad's research. They're categories. And so that work was done, and Dr. McCoy's latest testing of that found that they work well on young white college students, but not on a diverse population, not on a BIPOC population. That I think it was money vigilance that really kind of crumbled with the KSMI under a more diverse population. So clearly, at some point in time, that's going to need to be redone to be more applicable to diverse applications. So research is ongoing, it's necessary, it's important, and I think we will continue to see more and more of it. If there's any researchers listening, I would love to do research around the Enneagram and money. And in fact, on the podcast, hopefully in a few weeks, it could be a month by the time we get it produced and out there, I am going to have a guest on who is an expert in the Enneagram, and we're going to riff about all the Enneagram types and how they would do money. So I'm really looking forward to that. And I would love to do research. I need a database. I need somebody who understands research, the statistical application, which I love statistics, but I'm not trained in clinical research. And my thought was to send the KSMI-R out to a self-identified population of Enneagram 1, Enneagram 2s, Enneagram 3s, etc., and see how they where their money scripts fall, and see if there's any correlation within the types. Now, obviously, using the KSMI could be a problem now that we have found it doesn't work 100% in money vigilant with diverse populations. I don't know if we could fix that in time to do research, but I've been wanting to do this research for 10 years, so it's not moving very quickly. Okay, and so another thing which we kind of segued into pretty easily is the diversity in application. That we're just seeing financial therapy more and more applicable in addressing financial trauma in marginalized communities. And there is a growing need, a huge need to address financial traumas across various cultural, socioeconomic, racial backgrounds. So I do think we're going to see that grow. Something else where I think we're going to see some growth is in AI, technology and AI. And immediately I think of an app that's out there. It comes from an IFS background. And it started out as an app to use with IFS, internal family systems therapy. And it's called Sentur, Sentur, S-E-N-T-U-R. And full disclosure, I am an investor in this app. And most recently, they have started adding something they call I think it's Sophie, to the app, or they're working on adding this to the app that will actually be a AI. And I scoffed a lot at AI being involved in therapy, talking to your phone, getting therapy. I'm not scoffing as much anymore. And the reason is I love ChatGPT. I use it a lot for research and in various tasks and things. And I noticed just recently they had a voice now. You can talk to it, not just dictate. I mean, you can have a conversation with it. And I do a fast, 36-hour fast once a week. And I was on my fast, and I don't know. I just saw it and I started talking to it, and somehow my fast came up. And it's just asking me questions. Oh, how long is it going to be? How many? Oh, when you're going to break that tomorrow morning? Okay, well, what are you going to have? Oh, I'm going to have some raspberries and blueberries and some cereal with a lot of nuts in it. Oh, boy, that really sounds healthy. I mean, this thing is just going on. Finally, it's been probably about 10, 12 minutes. I'm approaching my destination. I'm like, I got to go. I can't stay here talking to you. It was unique. Now, maybe not so unique to a lot of you, but I could see how therapeutically this can be designed to work, maybe especially in an IFS manner, because the IFS has a protocol and a structure to it. Maybe not quite as good as a human, but maybe good enough for the gap sessions. I'm not sure, but I think we're going to be seeing technology and AI used more increasingly in financial therapy. It's going to have to be used in therapy probably first, but I do see that as something that is probably going to make financial therapy more available to people. And I think we'll continue to see IFS integration. Of course, this is one of my passions, is using the internal family system model in financial therapy. It's relatively unknown right now. I can only think of 3 people that I know that are IFS practitioners that are also CFPs that are using this in their practice. So, and it just in being involved in financial therapy since almost the beginning, I haven't seen any one modality or tool help people faster than the IFS integration. And another thing that comes to mind that we're probably going to see that's on the horizon for financial therapy is psychedelic-assisted financial therapy. And I know that's a pretty heavy lift, a big mouthful, and something I'll probably devote a podcast to. I'm hoping to get a proposal accepted by various conferences on this. Right now, it's so cutting edge. It's not selected because it can be viewed as pretty far out there, and yet I don't think it's that far out there, especially when we look in the next 10 years or 20 years. I think psychedelic assisted therapy is going to become very mainstream. Some of the challenges facing financial therapy, well, we've kind of discussed the fact one of the big things is just recognizing it. This was true of financial planning. It's true of so many things, but just getting it known, just getting it on the radar of people that this is something that can really help with financial issues, financial stuckness, and can make a difference in their life. And also the scalability of financial therapy is an issue. It's highly personalized. As I'm working with a client, I'm like, there is nobody seeing this. And I'm witnessing miracles. I'm witnessing things that are gob-smacking, and how they come together, how the client puts them together, the shift in their life. It's just amazing. And there's an audience of two to this. And that means that you can do group financial therapy. You can. But nevertheless, it is highly labor intensive. And this could be an area where AI helps, but there's just not enough trained financial therapists out there to help right now today with the potential demand. The demand isn't great because the recognition is pretty low. But as recognition continues to grow, there's going to become a bigger and bigger need for trained and experienced financial therapists. So the other thing with financial therapists could be some challenges with clinical boundaries. There needs to be clear clinical boundaries. The Financial Planning Association has moved to address these with the certified financial therapist designation. But those therapists that are heavy on the financial planning side and very light on the therapy side just may not be equipped to handle the emotional issues. And likewise, therapists not being handled, not having the ability to handle more complex financial problems. So this is a huge discipline. It's a discipline that requires financial expertise-ness and therapeutical. And what I said in the beginning, there isn't a financial therapy degree that would address and train on both. So this is a problem. And so while we're talking about the CFT, that's the Certified Financial Therapist certification, they have dropped the CFT-1, and it's now the CFT certification. They are revamping the requirements. They're looking at addressing what I just talked about, of increasing the knowledge, increasing the training on both finances and therapy. So the CFT officially started January of 2025, but the CFT-1 is gone. So we're going to see higher professional standards with this. We will continue to see a growth in demand for the CFT. Right now, there is no bar. Anybody can call themselves a financial therapist. Anybody can call themselves a financial planner. So the certification is at least a low bar in hopefully indicating the person has education and maybe some experience in financial therapy. So stay tuned for more on the evolution of the CFT certification. So, well, thanks for hanging with me today. I appreciate your listenership. Reach out to me if you have any questions, rick@rickkaler.com. You can learn more at the website advanced-wellbeing.com. And I do have a number of books are at Amazon on various aspects of the union of emotions and money. So I look forward to talking with you next time. Take care. Thanks for joining me, Rick Kaler, for another episode of Financial Therapy. It's not just about the money. This is where I combine the nuts and bolts of financial advice with the emotions that drive making them. Remember, every financial behavior, whether it appears illogical to you or others, makes perfect sense when we understand the underlying beliefs, feelings, and thoughts. Sign up for my weekly blog at financialawakenings.com. I hope you'll join me again for our next episode.